Hello, church. Welcome to my pastor's update for Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. Like so many of you, I have been so moved, even overwhelmed by all that's happened in our country in recent weeks. From the brutal loss of life of George Floyd to conversations about the systems and the way things are and the way race and racism impact our lives so much. I've been moved by so many moments and images over these last couple weeks. Yesterday's funeral service for George Floyd. The variety of the protests, not just through this country, but around the world. The participation that I've seen from many within our law enforcement who support the voicing of peaceful protests and the longing for change. Heck, I was even moved by what happened last week when, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, finally came out and said, we were wrong about Colin Kaepernick. That the whole narrative we had about him kneeling, before the flag, it was an insult to military, and him just admitting that we should have listened a little more deeply, that it was never about that. It's about what we're seeing. Drew Brees, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, kind of walked through the whole process of initially dismissing some of the protesting, and he came around and had a whole shift in perspective. And I feel like a lot of us, particularly in white America, have had a chance in these last couple weeks to really see just a shift in perspective, maybe a shift within ourselves. And it's an important shift. And as we, as a primarily white church and a primarily white denomination in the United Church of Christ, for a long time, I feel like we have been, on one hand, advocates for change and justice and doing what's right and seeking to walk in the ways of compassion right alongside Christ in this world. We are working hard to do that work. And yet, we have so many blind spots. I know within myself, so many blind spots. Places where I took certain risks but didn't want to risk it there. Conversations that I decided not to have, because that's too messy. It's someone else's problem. Recently, I just read the entirety of Martin Luther King's letter from a Birmingham jail, and it's tough to read as a white pastor, because a lot of his letter expresses the frustration that even he felt, 50-something years ago, about the unwillingness of the white church to kind of fully step on board with what he was talking about. Now, this is Martin Luther King. There's always some excuse, look, we appreciate the idea, that we appreciate that you're saying what needs to be said is true, but we don't like you doing it this way. We don't like it here. We don't want it to be done that. It's always something. I've been finding myself challenged by that on a personal level, and as a father, as a husband, as a minister. And this moment in our history has made it very clear to me that it's time for us as a church, and it's larger than church, but as as this, I want to start here, this congregation. I want to engage in a conversation that we haven't had, certainly haven't had enough of it. I don't think we've really had it. And that's that conversation that has to do with not just racism and racial inequality and racial injustice, but really a deeper look into this idea of white privilege. How the systems and the structures of our society have long worked better for folks who are white as opposed to people of color. I know a lot of us have been thinking a lot about these things, and that's why I'm going to be offering a 6-week class on that topic. It's a class that's put out by the United Church of Christ and a whole bunch of wonderful speakers and leaders. It's a class called White Privilege, Let's Talk. And when we engage in a conversation like this, I know it's not easy. It's not comfortable. Might push some buttons. Some of us want to talk about tough things. Some of us are like, yes, finally. And some of us are like, oh, no, thanks. Get me out of here. What are you talking about? We might go to a place of joy. We might go to a place of defensiveness. But the conversation is too important. The time is too ripe. And our mission and our identity as a church is too crucial right now. I don't want to shrink back from this. So starting next Tuesday, which is the 16th of June, we'll have our first meeting, as I said, of 6, where we'll entertain this conversation. We'll get into it. We'll look at it. We'll open it up. You don't have to agree to come either. I really hope that we just get people that want to open themselves up to the messiness of it, because I'm not sitting here, or I'm not going to be in front of you with all the answers. I just feel convicted that it's time to start asking the questions and opening our eyes that we might see. Now this class is it will involve some readings, and it's going to involve videos, so I've made a choice to actually have the class in the church sanctuary. I mean, we're going to physically gather for this class, and we will maintain, safety precautions. Everyone will be wearing masks. We'll sit and practice social distancing. So we will offer that face-to-face. It's too important. It's conversational. I think it's important to do it this way as opposed to a Zoom meeting. I also think it would be a good, I brought this up at council last night, and there was consensus that it was a good sort of means of practicing what it's going to be like maybe when we finally do get back together in our Sunday worship, how that's going to go and what we need to do. So this class will start next Tuesday, 16th of June. Because we are limited in space and the number of people who can, we are limited to no more than 60 participants. So I'm going to provide you the link to our church email, but that's the way we ask you to do it, is to send an email to Barb Grandstaff, our church secretary, and she will put you on the list. I recognize that there's probably a number of you who are not yet ready to meet sort of physically in proximity with others, and for that reason I will be recording these sessions, the 6 sessions, and we'll put them up on our church website. And when I say recording, I'm just gonna, because of privacy concerns, I don't want to be showing everybody who's there and all the personal comments and stuff, but I'll have my phone and kind of capture me talking, and hopefully we'll be able to make it it'll translate meaningfully to the video. But that's how we'll do that too. So if you don't feel comfortable coming physically, personally, live and in person, then just you can watch the videos. And I hope that that's something that can accommodate any concerns, any safety or medical concerns. If this goes well, or if we get a huge turnout, that kind of thing, we'll do it again. We're going to look for more opportunities, but it's just too important right now. The time is right to, as we've been talking about, as I've been preaching, to lean into this moment and explore more deeply what it means to be the church in the modern era, and to put ourselves in a position to be constructive, to be people who are unafraid to talk about the stuff that matters, and then to go from there in ways that are healing, that are wholeness creating. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity, this class. We'll put some more information about it, maybe some links, so you can kind of look into it a little bit more, also on the church website. But I hope you will join me for this. I hope you'll come. I hope you'll listen. I hope you'll open yourself to it. And together, we can continue to grow into becoming and being the faithful followers that Christ calls us to be. Till we meet again, my friends, I hope you are well, and I hope you stay inspired.